What is up, mortals? Alex here. It's been a while since I uploaded a video about anything, actually. Mainly because the game's been pretty stale and I haven't been playing any other decks or basically explore anything else besides the decks that I've been playing. With the upcoming ban list and a set dropping, or actually just dropped this weekend, I decided to undust my Spyral deck and give it another try. I've been toying around with it for the past few weeks and it's been doing fairly well, as you can see by some of the new cards that I added in. And I will start with the Spyral cards. I have to play, or you should play, 3 Spyral Super Agents and 3 Spyral Tough. In theory, this is a going second Spyral, mainly because I never win the die roll. So I wanted to keep these 6 guys so I can start breaking boards and establish my own. So I figured that you still have to play 3 of each. For the remaining Spyrals, you play 1 drone and 1 quick fix. These are the combo starters. This is what you want to open with. As you all know, if you result 1 for 1 in the Spyral deck, you're probably going to win the game. So I figure that these 2 are still the best Spyral cards. 1 Master Plan and 1 Sleeper. Basically, they are... Sleeper is the powerhouse, and Master Plan is what allows everything to happen. A lot of the times, you might not resolve the Master Plan into Sleeper and Field Spell, because you will get to the Field Spell. Since the deck is not as consistent as it used to be, you will be searching the Field Spell with the Terraforming. But there are a lot of cards in the deck that allows you to put the Field Spell back in the deck, and I'll get to that much later. And for the last Spyral monster, 1 Last Resort. Last Resort sometimes comes up as an extra monster, but we all know that Last Resort needs to be equipped to Sleeper, and that's the main reason why you play it. So that's it for the Spyrals. 11. For one of the engines that I play is the Armageddon, Knight, Sephiroth, and Destrudo engine. Basically, these guys allow you to extend your plays. Armageddon Knight can either send the Destrudo to make Ancient Fader Dragon and snatch a field spell, or basically rotate yours. The Sephiroth allows you to have an additional monster, because remember, Armageddon Knight's not once per turn, so if you can add it back to your hand with the Firewall later on the combo, you can send the Armageddon Knight to put back the Resor to claim an additional search and an additional body to link. So, plus, it's a level 4, so it helps you make Xyz. Just play 2 and 1. I didn't want to play 3 Armageddon Knights because it's not the focus of the deck. Plus, with Aroda, we have 3 technically. I believe as the last main deck monster. This is part of the Knightmare combo that you have to play. Mermaid summons it from the deck and it allows you to have an extra body for a link. So you have to play the 1. So if you happen to like draw it in your opening hand and she's just stuck there and there's not much you can do about it, because I'm not playing you in my deck to like shuffle it back in the deck. So just the 1. For the hand traps, I'm only doing 5, 3 Ash and 2 Ogres. I don't think I wanted to do more than that, mainly because I don't want to clog my hand with them. So I feel that this ratio is a little better. Maybe later when Ash, if we follow the OCG list, Ash might go to 2 and Ogre will be the one that is split at 3. But any more than that, I don't think is correct. So just 5. For the rest of the spell cards, 3 Terraformings because still at 3. I'm going to play 3. 1 each of the field spells, mainly because you need other field spells to search with Terraforming, because for some reason now the field spell, Resort is at 1, I happen to draw multiple Terraformings, but when Resort was at 3, I never saw a field spell, which is weird. And for the last field spell, I played 1 Pseudo Space because it does come up a lot. For the 1-ofs, I play a Foolish, a 1 for 1, a Rhoda, because it searches your agents and or Armageddon Knight to start your combos. 2 Foolish Barrel Goods, mainly to send the missions to the graveyard, so you can start extending your plays. Anytime you open with Foolish Barrel Goods, you will be fine, since if you try to break their board and you fail because they have multiple negates, the Foolish Barrel Goods allows you to have an additional chance to break that board. I was playing 3, but I don't want to go over 42. So I decided to 2. It's a better ratio. Soul Charge because the win button. Monster Reborn, it's a generic broken revival, why not play it? And Assault, just the 1. Usually don't have this on board, but actually sometimes it comes up where you will be destroying cards and gaining a free plus of this. Sometimes, a lot of the times you'll draw into hand traps. Once you get out like a lot of the combo cards out of the deck and you activate this to basically pop a card, you'll draw into a hand trap, which is really clutch, or into a side deck card if anything. So just the 1, it's very needed. 2 big reds. I've always been a fan of 2. Even when full power Spyral was a deck, I've always played 2, and any less than 2 I think is incorrect. Even if you're not going to be playing grindy games, but the second one actually comes up a lot. Your opponent will not be expecting the second one as well. Let's see. 2 Called by the Grave. Even though this is a quote-unquote going second Spyral, I still want to have a Called by the Grave in the deck because people will be still playing hand traps even if they go first. So stopping their Ash Blossom of their Ogre or their Ogre when you're trying to break their board, it's actually game breaking. So I decided to just main deck 2. It's very clutch. And for the trap cards, 2 Mission Rescue and 1 Utility Wire. Like I said, this is a going second deck, but I'm still going to play the Utility Wire mainly because if you fail to go for the kill when you go second, the Utility Wire as being unsearchable disruption by quick fix can seal the deal on that turn. Basically having a double helix equipped with a last resort or a sleeper and a Utility Wire is usually just game too much for your opponent to handle, mainly because these are like searchable +1s. That's it for the main deck, 42. If you have any questions about the main deck, of course, post it down below and I'll be sure to reply. For the extra deck, 1 Linkuriboh, easily made with these guys. I sort of wish that Ib was a level 1 so you can use it to make Linkuriboh, but sadly it's not. One of the mermaids, what she does is when she's Link Summon, you can discard a card and special summon an Ib, the Dark Ib from the deck. And all the monsters in the field that are not Cold Link lose 1,000 attack and defense. She's really good for that. It extends your plays. Also, she's a Link 1 that points down. 1 Phoenix. Phoenix protects all your Cold Link monsters by battle once per turn. And when it's Link Summon, you can discard a card and destroy 1 spell and trap card on the field. Cerberus is the same as Phoenix. On Summon, lets you discard a card and destroy 1 monster on the field. And all Cold Link monsters can't be destroyed by card effect once. 1 Goblin. Goblin is your additional summon. When it's summoned, you can pitch a card. If it's Cold Links, you draw a card. Once that turn, you can gain an additional summon. It's really strong. And all your Cold Link monsters can't be targeted by card effects, which is really strong. 2 Double Helix. I have always played 3, but with all these new Knightmare cards, 2 is the only number that I could fit. This card is still absurd and probably one of the best Link monsters in the game. Double Helix is the main reason why I'm playing this deck, honestly. Unicorn, this card is nuts. When it's Link Summon, you can target 1 card on the field by discarding a card, of course. Shuffle that card back in the deck. So if you happen to terraforming into Resort and you have access to a Double Helix Master Plan, you can shuffle back the Resort with the Unicorn so you can resolve your Master Plan, which is really cute. It has an additional effect that is, as for your draw phase, you can draw an additional card for every Knightmare Cold Link monster, which is really crazy. Sometimes you can draw up to 4 cards. If you go first, set up a board, your opponent happens to not be able to out it, you'll just draw extra cards for that and you'll definitely go for game. This card is actually really good. Try to get Wizard because he's involved in every combo. You just have to play him. He's just that good. I think this card is way ahead of its time in my opinion. Too good for a Link 3. It's fairly generic. Decode Talker, it's involved in the main standard combo, the Agent Tough for 80-100 damage. You have to play it. One of the new cards, Knightmare Griffin. This card is actually really ridiculous. It's a link for fairly generic. On summon, pitch a card. Set any spell and trap card from your graveyard onto your side of the field. Cannot be used that turn, and draw a card. Special summon monsters cannot use their effects unless they are co-linked or linked. I'm sorry. This card is so good. At the end of a lot of combos, you end up with that. Basically, it's a walking floodgate. Your opponent can't really out unless they have linked monsters. One Firewall Dragon because it's the best link monster next to Double Helix. So good. I kind of wish this was a 2, honestly, but I understand. One Borreload because I don't feel safe going into any tournament without a Borreload. You just have to play it. It outs Masterpiece mainly. The deck doesn't have an out to Masterpiece and an opposing Borreload, so Borreload is the way to out that. For the lone Synchro, just the one Ancient Fairy Dragon to swap around field spells and or get an additional summon. Basically, summon one of these guys from your hand or one of these guys to extend your combos. Just the one-off comes up very handy. And for the last card in your extra deck, one Abyss Dweller. Same as Borreload, I don't feel safe playing at any tournament without this card in my extra deck. I know my deck should be able to handle most of the decks that are running around, but sometimes those decks, the graveyard reliant decks, play a lot of traps to like stop you from doing a lot or like locking them out. So summoning a Dweller at the end of your main combo is actually just game. So I feel like Dweller is too important. If you don't want to play Dweller, you can play other link monsters like Ningirsu, which I recently caught from the deck. But the extra deck is still work in progress. I'm not like 100% sure if I'm gonna keep all of the cards that are in the extra deck, but only time will tell. Let me know what you think of the deck. The list seems pretty solid. I've been testing it a lot and it's been doing fairly well. The only card that I'm having trouble with is still Zephyros, because if you draw him without a discard fodder, or if you can't really get to a Nightmare card, he's just going to be dead. But besides that, he's still really strong with Armageddon and a field spell. So you can search twice, which is crazy. Anyways, sorry for not uploading anything in a while, but I will be bringing you more videos soon, hopefully. And again, if you have any questions, post them down below. And let me know what you think of the deck. As always, thank you for watching. Alex, out. Peace.